Washington, D.C. For more than 2 decades, the F-35 Lightning II stealth fighter jet has been not only a symbol of American air supremacy, but also an instrument of economic diplomacy that has extended Washington's influence to the farthest corners of the globe. From Tokyo to Tel Aviv, from Canberra to Copenhagen, leaders of allied nations have lined up to acquire this aircraft, not merely a war machine, but a reflection of strategic partnership with the United States. However, under the shadow of divisive political rhetoric, this stealth aircraft now faces an unexpected threat, not from foreign enemies, but from a shifting sense of trust among close allies. In recent months, statements by President Donald J. Trump, who has re-emerged in the political arena following his designation as the Republican Party's presidential nominee, have stirred anxiety among NATO allies and traditional American partners. In his public speeches, Trump has raised the possibility of withdrawing security support from NATO member states that, in his view, don't pay enough. These remarks not only undermine the collective foundation of transatlantic defense, but also open the door to doubt regarding the continuity of U.S. military commitments, including the supply of strategic weapon systems like the F-35. One immediate implication of this narrative shift is a change in the defense policy trajectory of allied nations that have long depended heavily on the Lockheed Martin-built platform. Analysts suggest that recent decisions from Western Europe serve as early indicators that the dominance of the F-35 may have reached its saturation point. France, which from the outset rejected participation in the F-35 program and instead chose to build its own independence through the Dassault Rafale, now seems to have found validation in that decision. Meanwhile, Germany and Spain, previously showing interest in the F-35, have strengthened their commitment to the jointly developed Eurofighter Typhoon, a product of cooperation between the UK, Germany, Italy, and Spain. Sweden, through SAAB, with its Gripen EF fighter jets, is also seeing new opportunities to offer alternative solutions more independent from U.S. political pressure. In a report published by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI, it is noted that interest in the Gripen has increased in Latin America and Southeast Asia, particularly in countries seeking advanced combat aircraft without political strings attached. According to Pierre Faucher, a senior analyst at the Institut Français des Relations Internationales, IFRI, when political rhetoric becomes more unpredictable, alliance stability becomes a rare commodity. Europe wants to minimize dependence on any one country, even if that country is the United States. The F-35 is the most expensive defense project in human history, with total development and production costs estimated at $1.7 trillion over its life cycle. The jet is more than just an aircraft. It is an industrial ecosystem, involving over 1,900 suppliers across 9 key partner nations. Yet behind those staggering figures lie facts that cannot be ignored: unresolved technical issues, high maintenance costs, and an extreme dependency on US-controlled digital networks and logistics. We're not just buying a jet, we're buying an entire system of control and dependency on American networks, said a senior Norwegian defense official, speaking on condition of anonymity. That wouldn't be a problem if the president were Eisenhower. But with Trump, we need a backup plan. Comparisons with European alternatives are increasingly brought forward. The Eurofighter, while not a stealth aircraft like the F-35, is known for its superior air-to-air maneuverability and lower operational costs. The Rafale has demonstrated strong operational performance in various combat theaters from Libya to Mali. The Gripen, on the other hand, offers high flexibility, low acquisition cost, and compatibility with a wide range of NATO and non-NATO systems. When Trump declared that the U.S. has no obligation to defend NATO countries that don't pay enough, it wasn't just an empty threat in a campaign context. It was a strategic signal that defense planners from Vilnius to Warsaw picked up clearly. The Baltic states, long reliant on NATO's rotational air presence and U.S. intelligence support, now must factor in the risk of isolation. Italy, once an early partner in the F-35 program, has recently begun doubling down on its investment in Eurofighter production lines and joined the Future Combat Air System (FCAS) initiative alongside the UK and Japan. Even the UK itself, though still committed to the F-35B for its aircraft carriers, is increasingly shifting its long-term vision toward the sixth-generation fighter jet project called Tempest. Trump is forcing Europe to think about a future without America, said Tomáš Valasek, former Slovak ambassador to NATO. And part of that is having weapon systems we can fully control. Lockheed Martin, the primary manufacturer of the F-35, has yet to respond directly to this potential market shift. However, Wall Street analysts have begun to observe a changing pattern in international procurement. In its latest quarterly report, it was noted that foreign demand for the F-35 has slowed compared to initial forecasts, although domestic demand remains strong. Furthermore, European competitors are starting to offer more flexible purchasing schemes, with industrial offset components more favorable to buyer nations. The Rafale, for example, secured a major contract from India in part because Dassault offered a more transparent technology transfer arrangement. If this trend continues, the F-35 could lose not only its military clout as the heart of NATO's joint combat system, but also its appeal as an instrument of economic diplomacy. The F-35 will remain one of the most extraordinary technological achievements in modern military history. Yet even an aircraft as advanced as this cannot escape the political turbulence that afflicts its country of origin. Trump's rhetoric, which appears more transactional than strategic, has created fissures in an alliance system that was built on mutual trust. Perhaps this is the ultimate irony of a stealth fighter jet designed to remain unseen, when it has become a highly visible symbol of fragile dependency. And in European skies increasingly clouded by uncertainty, the roar of the F-35 engine now competes with the echoes of Rafale, Typhoon, and Gripen, in a contest not merely about speed and stealth, but about sovereignty, stability, and the future of defense choices.